Good afternoon from Area 51 Raceway, and here we have the Carrera Digital 132 Corvette C7. I've taken it all apart. We're going to install a CG Slot Cars guide adapter. This is a bolt-on. They have other ones that you could also glue on, but I'm just going to do this for just to make it simpler for the beginner. This is for guys that already have digital cars with digital chips in them. So I'm just going to cover putting the guide in, and in our later mod we'll be installing a Predator 22,500 RPM ball bearing motor. I want to see how this goes in there. So first off, we're going to do is remove everything as you see here, and we're going to remove the front guide, and all we're going to do there is just unscrew these two screws right here that mount and hold the guide on, and there's a little spring underneath here too. And what we're going to do is lift this plate off, just like that. And there's a small spring right here. If you could see that, let me zoom in so you can see the work I'm doing. And give me a moment here. And go a little down. Trying to get the hang of my camera here. Sorry, folks. Going a little bit crazy. A little bit extra sensitive today. And here we go. So sorry about that. So here's a spring right here I'm talking about, right there. What you're going to do is just take that out. Make sure it doesn't, hit you in the eye or something like that. Remove the spring, and we're going to just pull this section off here. Oop! One thing I forgot to do, forgive me, folks, is remove the blade. Oh. Pop off the guide, and it comes right out. Sorry about that. So there we go. That's the whole thing right there. And we're not going to use this setup. We're going to use a Slotting Plus guide, a deep wood guide, because I want to try it out in that way. So we get rid of that, and what we're going to do is open our package. This does come with its own guide if you want to use the guide that came with it. That's totally up to you if you want to do that, but I'm choosing not to use that. And what we're going to do is mount this like so, and as you can see, it slips right in the whole area like that, like it should, just like that. This is a 3D print now you can see how that looks. That looks pretty good. It looks pretty flush, and just like that. Then we'll get the existing screws that came off the other one, and what we're going to do is just do that, just put them back on, because this is what came off of there, and just like that. So no gluing required on this. All you're doing is sliding it in there and locking it in place with the screws, just like so. Bottom out, it's a little snug there, and then you're all set. That's it. There you have it. Not bad. That's pretty cool. And looks like that's going to work pretty good. And then we'll use the Slotting Plus guides. What we're going to do, as you can see, since I put that in there, that is just perfect how it looks right there. Put your wire leads and everything. This is a little stiff, so you can just get a little bit of your file and just kind of deburr the edges a little, just to give it a little bit of looseness. We don't want it super tight in there, and you just do it little at a time. Don't go overkill or go crazy with it, just like that. And it's getting looser, as you see right there. Feels good. It feels nice and tight. And just a little bit more filing, and yep, it's not bad. You go a little bit more, but that's pretty comfortable there. And let me put a little bit of oil in there too to kind of lube it up, and you could do that, or put some PTFE grease if you want in there. You don't have to put oil. You can put a little bit of PTFE grease, and go from there. And that's how you put that in. And so here we are, and what I'm doing here is I am replacing this connector with these wires, you know, with the better wire than this Mobile wire, as Harry calls it. So I don't need the connector. I really don't care. And all I'm doing is soldering this into the spots where these originally were. The red wire was on the outside, so that'd be the yellow one, and then the black wire was on the inside, should be, you know, right in the next spot to it. And all you're going to do is you're going to put this, there's a little hole there if you could see it, and I'm going to heat the wire, the soldering part. And this gets a little tricky, but I mean, you could do it. You just have to have patience and helping hands, obviously, and do that. And then I'm going to go poke it through right there. Now it's soldered in just like that. And what I've done is just got rid of these little lame ass wires, which they are to me. I mean, if you're just going to run a stock digital guide, then yeah, just keep them on there. But since I'm doing this modification, I am just beefing up the wires, and as you can see, that's just like that. They're in there. Really simple, nothing too difficult. And it's not hard to do, and you shouldn't be afraid to do it. Now that I've got this done, I'm going to mount this back into the car, and I'll have some wire leads for that, you know, that guide right there. So be right back. All right, we're back, and we have the guide installed. Get my hand out of the way there, and I hope you can see this. Let me try and maneuver the camera as usual to where I needed to go. And we'll just go up a little bit here, close up. So as you can see, I got the guide in. This is the slot it deep wood guide, and I use the CB slots adapter that just screws on. Actually, this thing I didn't need any shims for this, so you can see right there. Pretty good. This thing, I really like this guide way better than using the stock Carrera stuff, and you know, using the other guide, but that's just my preference. But you know, what I also did with this is, as you can see, the wires. This may be naughty doing this, but I went underneath the axle because I wanted this to kind of snap back and come back. What I did have to do is with that hole, since it's a, you know, 3D printed part, it was really tight, and I didn't like that, and I wanted some movement because it really wouldn't move back like it does right now, like it should. And I used a I think it's a 7/64 drill bit to kind of widen the hole just a little, and it didn't do very much, just little. And then filed it a little. You just want this thing to really slide back and forth. And then of course I chopped a small section of the guide off, so if you could see right here, so that way I can the, you know, screw will go on there and bring it up. There was no shims required for this, so it actually worked out really good. Now I put some Paul gauge tires. These are the the tires that I ordered for these, and these are the XD tires. So these are the PGT 125 LM XD. So these are the extra deep because the wheels are different. I used the stock wheels. I put some nail polish, glued them on there, and then shrewed them. And then what I did is I went ahead and put the Predator 22500 motor on there, and then I just stuck with the stock axle, and then put a brass pinion on there because the plastic one I was going to transfer over, but once I got it off and tried to put it on, you could kind of put it on with your fingers, and which that's not good. It's just going to sit and spin on the shaft, and that's no good. So I used a 9 pinion tooth gear, pinion gear, brass, and I got it in there. And what I did also was I cut these down, filed these down, or dremelled them off this way so the body could float. There's little raised ridges with little slats in it, and this it's supposed to, you know, mount the body more firmer. So what I did was I just cut them off, used a blade, and sanded them down. Same back here. The holes, I kind of filed them open just a teeny bit because I wanted these body screws to go through easier, to where they won't, you know, get stuck. This way I'm making sure the body's floating. So you can see how this one goes in kind of nice like that, you know. I wanted to But you don't want to oblong the hole too much to where this shoulder right here will you know, go through the entire standoff here of the mount. It'll go right through it, so you got to be careful with that. But we're going to throw it on the track and see how it performs. I lubed it up and everything, using PTFE grease on the back here. And then I also put some, you know, shoe polish on the, some floor shine. Some floor shine on the front wheels, because I'm using the stock with front tires, because I'm using the same stock tires. They're just Carrera ones. They were fine. They weren't dried out or nothing. So I didn't glue them on. I just left them on there. So if I ever want to change them out and do the same thing later. But so we'll throw the body on and we'll take it around the track and see how it does.